In this video we'll look at the option to turn off the float property for a freeform container. So you can see here we have a dialog and the yes/no buttons are left justified, but the question is, how would we go about centering these two buttons or right justifying them in this dialog? So you can see here that what we have is we have a container that contains the buttons, and in this container we've gone right now and we've set the text align property to right, hoping to right justify the buttons, but in fact we can see that it hasn't happened. And the reason that it hasn't happened is that every control in a dialog is wrapped in a div which has a class called A5 container which sets the float. So in order to turn off the float so that the buttons will justify right, what we've done is we've gone and we've hidden the two buttons, the yes and the no button. Then we've put a freeform container on the dialog, and currently I've not checked the prevent container float property here. And if we look inside the freeform section, we have the placeholders for button 1 and button 2 over there with just a hard space between them. So when we run this, we see that basically the style, the inline style for the container was ignored. But now if I go to this freeform container and I say prevent float and run it now, I can see now that my buttons are right justified. Or if I go and change the container style now to say center and run it, I see that my buttons are centered. So just once again recapping as to why this happened, without putting the buttons in there in this freeform container and then turning the float off, every control inside this container would have been inside its own div, and each of those divs would have had a class called A5 container which floats everything to the left. That's the mechanism whereby the entire dialog component can support liquid layouts and automatically lay out all of the controls. But in this particular case now, I don't want to float these buttons to the left, so I want to turn off the float for this container and then put the buttons in the container so that the text align properties of the parent CSS, the parent container, are going to be on it. Thanks very much.